Okay, hello. Not sure if I'm gonna post this because it's been forever, but hello. And I just wanted to do a little video, maybe a little motivational video, maybe a little blah blah blah. I don't know. Excuse the lighting issues. I still have not replaced this freaking screen protector in ages. I do have a brand new screen protector, but I guess the cracks just give it a little zhuzh that I'm into. Anyways, I'm sitting here in my car and I just wanted to check in because it's been so long and I felt like I had a motivational message to share. Because am I coming from a place of overflow right now? I'm not gonna say that, but I'm just gonna reflect something that I need to hear, which is what I think we all need to hear, which is what we could all use, which is it will happen. It's going to happen. There's no way for it to not happen. You do need to stay locked in to believing no matter what. I had a bit of a crash out earlier. I feel like ever since last year, is that when I started saying the term crash out? I don't know. I got it from TikTok and I feel like it's used a lot now. And I know it came from somewhere else, OG, before TikTok, probably AAVE. But anyways, I just had to have a moment where I cried and like I don't know if I want to say spiraled, but we could say I spiraled for a second, because here's the thing. Coming from where I was, especially when I started posting a lot on this page. I mean, right now I'm back in LA. So I literally came to San Diego last summer, then moved to LA, was in LA for several months, moved to San Diego, was in San Diego for several months, and then now I've been back in LA. I kind of been going back and forth between LA and San Diego, but mostly LA as of late. And okay, I'm kind of dying from this heat, but I also don't want this to connect to Bluetooth, so yeah, so the point is, for one, it's recognizing that some aspect of where you're at now is where you wish you were X amount of time ago. I've been having some times that are tough, right? It's like every day is a mixed bag. But at the same time, when I'm driving around the streets of LA, I'm driving down Lincoln, I'm in Venice, I'm at the beach, I'm doing whatever, and I'm complaining about my life. It's like, this is what I wanted at one point. Is the exact life situation that I'm currently in what I've wanted for myself? Not quite. But am I in the city, which is big for me? Yes. It wasn't that long ago that I was at home, or I was at my aunt and uncle's house, literally saying to myself, like, I should have just busted my ass. I should have done anything and everything I possibly could so that I could have stayed in LA, right? When I had to move back in with family in like 2024, it was that year I spent a lot of time just being like, oh my God, like I wish I was still in LA. I wish this, I wish that, because it's been my dream since I was a child to live in LA and do cool shit, whether it's acting. I don't really care. I've already done some background acting, so I feel like I can check the box on that a little bit. But like, I've always just had this vision for my life of doing dope ass, cool ass shit in LA. And I grew up in Northern California, whatever. I lived in Santa Barbara a little bit, whatever. I don't want to talk about all of that. But that was like my childhood, and this is what I was hoping for. And yeah, like I have been here now. I've been grinding. Do I love grinding? No. Am I working on my beliefs? Am I manifesting for that next step? Yes. But here's the thing. I've had like these periods in and out of grinding. So last summer, when I came down here with only $200 and a full tank of gas and I met up with one of my friends and we were staying with each other, I just knew I needed to get the fuck out. I needed to leave Northern California and come down here permanently. Okay. And I still haven't been back to Northern California since. My only plan to go back is after I have the financial situation that I've been looking for a while. I will go back to Northern California and see my family. I'm hoping that all comes together by this Christmas. But that was my plan, because the way that I felt living at home with my family, and I already went no contact with my mom, right? So I was living with my aunt and my uncle. So my aunt and my uncle, living with them is 100 times better than living with my mom. 100 times better. Was it still difficult? Yes. And this is no shade to them. It's just being in a small town, like an hour and a half north of San Francisco, with nothing there. I feel out of place when I go places, and it's just because of who I am. It's not because of anything else. I feel like some people have interpreted it in certain ways. They'd be like, oh yeah, well, because there's not very many black people up there, or this or that. And it's like, no, it's literally not even that. I spent like my whole life spending time at my aunt and uncle's house, so that was basically like my second home. Like that's the only home I've been consistently going to since I was a child. But it was more just being into what I'm into, being who I am, being in Sonoma County. I just felt like, why? What? Like, I hate this, and I'm suffering. I'm suffering and I'm struggling, even though I'm in like a suburban paradise where this is such a nice neighborhood and my aunt and uncle are so, chill. Like, I would just spend almost all my time in my room. They didn't say like anything. Sometimes they would make margaritas. They would offer me a margarita. Sometimes they would get food and ask me if I wanted anything. It was a very nice living situation. And prior to that, I was with my other aunt. Also, once again, a very nice living situation. She didn't even charge me anything. Sometimes she would be like, hey, do you want some of this food, or do you want some wine? And then before that, I was living with my mom, and that was different. Anyways, let me try to stay focused. I want people to know that it is going to happen for us. If you are locked in on the level that I'm locked in at, and locked in doesn't mean day after day you're hustling, right? We're sold this capitalistic vision of what it means to be locked in via social media, via content creators that generate and spew out this shit that's like hustle culture nonstop. I work hard, and so that's why I get what I want. Well, I do work hard, but I feel like when you constantly are perpetuating this idea of I work hard, it's like, okay, do you fucking sleep? Do you eat? Do you enjoy your life? Do you go shopping? Do you take Sundays off? Do you do this? It's like some people are addicted to this vision that is really, it just feels like punishment. And their vision of discipline is punishment, okay? Not mine. Not here, not now, not today, okay? It is going to happen for us because let's say you have 5, 6 off days, 7, 2 fucking weeks where you're struggling, you're in bed, you feel like shit, you've been doom scrolling, you've been maybe even texting people that aren't in your best interest. I don't care. When you get up on, let's say you've been having 2 shitty fucking weeks where you feel like shit, maybe you gained 5 pounds, whatever, you've been smoking weed. When you get up on that 15th day and you lock back in and you remember your inner knowing, that inner knowing, that North Star, that guiding point, which is like, but I know that this shit is real. I know I am who I say I am, and I know I'm going to get to experience everything that I've been wanting to experience in this lifetime. That's what the fuck this shit is. Okay, that's not necessarily what happened for me lately. Like the other day, I was like affirming, I was like working and stressing out, and then I ended up manifesting like $350 that night, which is great. It was fantastic. Helped me so much. Yesterday was such a, I don't even know how to describe yesterday. It was like not a bad day, but not a great day. Not a great day, that's for sure. And then today, this morning, this afternoon, I had my little crash out where I was just like, bro, like, I've still been having some habits that aren't my favorite and that make me feel like really pulled down and sucked into like the past, into a vision that someone else had for me, and to things that were said to me that I always felt were not truthful. So I was like sucked into that. I was just looking at my environment, which this is a nice pleasant view right in front of me. I would show you, but I'm not going to. But I'm in a pleasant place, right? I'm in LA. I'm like in this car, which is like pretty nice. It's a nice car that I'm in right now. Like, there's things that are good, right? But I was thinking about, oh my God, like this guy who I felt like, I want to be with. I was just like, oh my God, like he doesn't want to be with someone like you, like this, that, the third, like, is this like, oh my God, like I had this dream and this is what I want for my life, and oh my God. And I'm 25, which is starting to feel kind of old. It sucks that I just even said that, or that's a sentiment that's kind of a thing, like, oh, a 25-year-old woman is like, it just goes downhill from there, like, that's like most of your youth is gone. And it's like, you know what, here's the thing, and here's the truth about myself. Unlike some people, right? Some people live this life where they have this beautiful childhood and youth, and they're, maybe they're like popular and they're hot and they're skinny while they're, in high school and in college, and they're having fun and they're doing their thing. And that hasn't been me, right? That's not my story. And because I'm 25 and I feel like I have had some times of really enjoying my life, especially, I hate to say it, but pre-COVID, because COVID now was 6 years ago, so it feels like, bitch, you're living in the past. But I still hold on to this because it was in 2019. I had this year in 2019. There were struggles in 2019, but overall it felt like win after win after win, like positive circumstance after positive circumstance. Getting the apartment, getting to meet George Clinton, I didn't directly meet Charlie XCX, but she literally was like inches away from me coming out of a bathroom stall, feeling so tremendously inspired, and going into parties, doing whatever. Call it frivolous, I don't care. It was like a lineup of things in my life that had felt so good. Losing weight, okay? Prior to 2019, I had spent most of my life in my childhood being very overweight or obese. And in 2019, that's when things finally clicked and I lost a lot of weight and I started feeling better. And, I wasn't trying so hard to lose weight. I was just losing weight, and it was good. And, there's been some good things that have happened since then, since 2019. But I feel like the level that I reached in 2019 was something I was wanting for a very long time. Like, yeah. And I started, I want to say at the end of 2018, I was feeling scared that like none of that would be possible, especially because it was something that I wanted so bad, was to lose weight when I was in high school or before I got to college. In the fact that when I got to college, I was still at least 180 pounds, like around 200 pounds. And I went up, I'm pretty sure, to around 230, which still to this day, I kind of can't believe. But I stepped on the scale winter break after my freshman year at college, and I'm pretty sure it said 233. And I just had this out of body experience where it's really sad. Like, I just was like, this cannot be real. This cannot be real. This cannot be real. This cannot be real. Seeing that number on the scale, I don't know if I want to say it triggered me. I mean, it definitely did trigger me, but it was like, it wasn't just like, oh my God, I'm triggered right now and I just need to breathe and it'll go away. It was like, that's not real. That's not fucking true. It's horrifying. You know what I'm saying? It's horrifying to be living your life. I didn't think I was doing all this crazy shit to gain weight. I even had the smallest meal plan possible at my college because I think I wanted to save money, but also I was like, oh, I'm gonna eat less food and it'll help me. But it didn't help me. I remember getting a lot of like Postmates and Uber Eats and shit during that semester as well. Anyways, it did get to a point for me where I felt like I just felt like my dream that I had of losing weight and actually just being free in my body, especially during college, right? It seems like college are those years where you're young and you have so much freedom for the first time. The fact that I was obese, and when you're that overweight, it sucks. The way you feel in your body sucks. So to know that I'm in my youth, I'm in these years that are supposed to be young, fun, free, like let me put my hands out, you know, in a convertible in the wind, like, you know what I'm saying? I wanted to wear all these crop tops and fun outfits, and I was struggling so bad, and it was devastating, and I didn't know what I was gonna do. I didn't know what was gonna happen, but the correct pieces fell into place, and I got my weight loss. And it did happen fast, you know, it did. And within less than a year, I feel like my life changed. You know, I lost the weight. I experienced all these positive moments, concerts, music festivals, self-discovery, etc. in 2019. And I feel like I've been waiting for another change or shift in my life since maybe 2022, right? So it's like you ride the high of your life changing, and then I got this job that was cool, and this guy was super into me, and he was like a guy that, you know, growing up and being super overweight, I don't want to say I never thought that someone like him would be into me, but it was like I always wanted someone like that to be into me. But I think deep down I believed that no one like that actually would. And so when this guy was like into me, you know, that was a highlight of my life at the time. And, you know, going to parties, whatever it was. I've been in this era where it has been feeling up and down. But last June, I remember saying, like, something is going to change. My life is going to get better. I don't know what it is, but June 2025. And the shit that I went through when I first came to SoCal and I was with my friend, it was like a roller coaster. It was fun, but it ultimately ended. And, you know, I entered June. I had come down here in May. I entered June not knowing and being confused and feeling like June 2025 was supposed to be all right, and something's gonna happen. And I remember it was like June 1st, June 2nd, June 3rd, and I was fighting with my friend, and it was a really bad time. And we were in San Diego, which was beautiful, but then it's like, you know, the high wears off, right? And it starts being like, okay, but what are we doing? Okay, I need money. This is, you know. And then June ended up being probably the most amount of money I earned in my entire life in a single month. After June 6th happened and I moved back to LA, I, you know, got this work opportunity. And then I remember receiving $120 in cash and just feeling like, oh my God, like I had never made that much money in like such a short period of time before. I know it was just $120, but it was like, for only having worked like an hour. And I was like, oh my God, like, and then July ended up being the highest earning month that I ever had. And I earned over $5,000 that month. And, you know, and I didn't even have to work that much, you know, and this has kind of continued on. But that job that I was doing, you know, it hasn't been making as much lately. So I've been in this other period of time where now I've been freaking out. And also, even during the months that I had where I started making like $5,000 or $4,000 or whatever, I still had that survival mode scarcity feeling, you know. And that's something I've been wanting to get rid of. and I don't know what the hell is going to happen. I don't know what has to happen. I'm willing to put effort in. I'm willing to do things, but also, I don't know. All I'm saying is this month, I know that things are going to change for me, because things cannot continue on the way that they have. And I want you to have this hope and this inspiration. And yeah, I'm very determined. I have some things that I want to say, but I'm a little stitious right now, so I'm not going to say them. And that's okay. But yeah, I'm going to get going here soon. I might film this again, I don't know. But I love you guys. This is just a check-in. It's not over till it's over. And then even when it's over, then what comes is a new beginning. And so I'm scared. I'm truly actually scared of the goals that I have, the desires that I have. They do scare me, because it feels like you want this without a degree, with what you've been doing, with, your unwillingness to work a regular job. I got a fucking regular job earlier this year, and then I got fired. And I feel like that was the universe being like, hey, bitch, no. You said it, and you know it in your bones. You cannot be working a regular job. But also, I don't want to be over here begging and asking for money and running out of money and having any type of situation like that. That's a no-go for me too. So yeah. But yeah, I'm excited to come to you guys when things are finally in place in the way that I've been wanting. And sometimes I feel like this world wants you to think like, oh, that moment's never gonna come. Sure, there's never gonna be some divine moment where everything is literally perfect and for the rest of your life. Sure, that's not gonna happen. But there does come a time and a place where you have what you want. The puzzle pieces are in order, where you sit back and you're like, holy shit, I got the job and I'm dating this person. I'm living in my apartment and I have the car. My health cleared up. My skin has cleared up. My situation with these friends got better, these family members or whatever. Those moments do exist and they will come, and so yeah. I love you guys. Goodbye.